Good morning on this Sunday. It is the last weekend of July, and you are looking right now at Midtown Atlanta on a cloudy and already a rainy day for some of us. So, we are getting you caught up on your weather forecast and your news headlines to get your Sunday started. We know it's a big week. A lot of kids are getting ready to head back to school either this week or next week. So, we are getting you caught up on all of the stories making news right now and, of course, tracking your forecast. So, good morning. Thanks for checking in. I'm Megan Packer here with Atlanta News First Plus. I've got First Alert meteorologist Courtney Jacobazzi ready to jump in just a few minutes. She is tracking rain and storms. It is a First Alert weather day, so your plans may be impacted today. So, we will check in with Courtney here in just a minute. But right now, I want to get you caught up on what is making news this morning, including a massive apartment fire that broke out in Atlanta yesterday. And we are seeing some pretty intense video from it. Let's pull this up for you to see. This was last evening around 6 o'clock in northwest Atlanta. The good news here is everybody is out safe. This is the Bell Collier Village Apartments. And firefighters believe this massive apartment fire may have started on the roof of this building. Here's some video from overnight. We checked in on the scene and we saw fire crews still out there keeping an eye on it, putting out any hot spots that may pop up. But again, nobody was injured. People got out safely. Pets made it out safely. Still under investigation. But again, Atlanta fire crews do believe that this started on the roof. So many people now scrambling, trying to figure out what to do next as they are out of their apartments. We are learning more about the small plane crash that killed 3 members of an Atlanta-based family gospel group and a state official. We told you that 3 members of the Nealons were killed in a crash in Wyoming Friday. Now the National Transportation Safety Board says the plane appears to have crashed because of an autopilot issue, but a final report won't be out for some time. We spoke with an aviation lawyer who says that the plane they were in, a Pilatus PC-12, has had similar problems. A total of 7 people were killed on that plane, not only 3 members of this beloved Atlanta-based gospel group, but the pilot was the Georgia Department of Corrections Board Chairman Larry Haney. So we know he and his wife sadly lost their lives as well. In Atlanta last night, there was a shooting involving police officers. Police were called out to the Trace Apartments at Peachtree Street and 5th Streets for a domestic dispute. Police say a suspect and officers both ended up firing shots. The suspect was shot and taken to the hospital. No officers were hurt. Police have not said why they started shooting. So that is under investigation still at this hour this morning. Today marks 3 years since a very high-profile, gruesome, and still unsolved murder in Atlanta. We are talking about the murder of Katie Janess, the woman who was found dead in Piedmont Park. Her dog was found dead there as well. Again, today marking 3 years, Atlanta police say this is still active and open as they work to solve this case. And Janess was found by her longtime girlfriend in the early morning hours right near the entrance to that park in Midtown. She had more than 40 stab wounds, and her dog Bowie was found dead nearby. So here we are 3 years later, still under investigation. This was a crime that rocked the city at the time. And no doubt, 3 years later, having it be unsolved, it still has to be on the minds of people that live in this area, that walk and spend time in Piedmont Park. It was late at night and early morning hours when she was found. So Atlanta police, though, again, saying that this is active and open. Today is the end of an era for a very popular sporting event in the city of Atlanta. We're talking about the Atlanta Open Tennis Tournament. Not only is today the last day for this year's tournament, but it is the last day of its 14-year run. It is a bittersweet day for so many people. First of all, they're watching the weather to see if they are going to be able to get play in for the 4 o'clock match. But there's just so much history here. We're looking at some video from years past. Big names, including Metro Atlanta native Coco Gauff, have come through and played here. She is over in Paris right now, competing in the Olympics. So pretty cool. So tennis lovers have just really enjoyed this. You know, we've heard from the organizers that just say Atlanta is a great tennis town, and Atlantic Station is a fantastic location in the city. You're right there overlooking the skyline, and Again, the big headline today is just hoping that the weather cooperates for everybody who's out there. 4 o'clock is when play is supposed to start today there at Atlantic Station in Midtown. And that is right when we might be seeing some rain come through the area. But for that, I will send it over to the expert, First Alert meteorologist Courtney Jacobazzi. Courtney, we're looking at Midtown right now, Atlantic Station, not far from this shot right here. It's pretty cloudy, and I know we might have already seen some raindrops come down, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So this morning had a little bit of just very light rain. The lightest of sprinkles moved through earlier this morning, and we'll wait for more as we head into the afternoon. A few of us seeing rain, especially the further north and west of the city you go. But overall, a first alert weather day for, you guessed it, another rainy and stormy afternoon. And we will also watch for the threat for flash flooding today. We've picked up a lot of rain as we've been kind of stuck in this wet pattern. We've seen some pretty extreme instances of flash flooding. If you were with us this morning, you saw the flooding in a Cobb County neighborhood where some people had to be rescued from their homes. Now, that is a very isolated incident. Even if we do have some flash flooding, not necessarily going to be to that extreme, but definitely need to just be careful if flash flooding does occur in your area with those rising creeks and streams or some of those poorly drained areas. You really just don't want to drive through standing water. So just something we'll be watching for you today. Here's a look at that flash flood threat. Speaking of, part of the reason for our first alert weather day is because of this slightly higher threat. It is fairly low for most of Metro, but the further west you go, from Floyd and Chattooga County all the way down to western Carroll County, this also includes Cleburne and Randolph County, Alabama, you have a slightly higher risk for flash flooding today. Our axis of where most of the moisture is setting up west of the city. We still have a little bit of a wedge taking over for places from Atlanta off to the northeast, so that'll keep you at least a little drier today. You can see a few showers moving through the Calhoun area over into Gordon County, and it looks like in the Dalton area as well. This is all just past 10 o'clock here at 10:20, so if you're watching this a little bit later, just know that most of the shower and storm activity north of the city. We also have a few showers moving into Coweta County right now and down into Henry and Rockdale and Newton County. Very light rain for the most part. It looks like that heaviest downpour right now over in Gordon County. So as we continue through the morning, we'll keep about a 20 to 30% coverage of showers and storms. So mostly dry for the morning, but again, the chance for showers still there. So if you're about to head out, maybe grabbing some brunch or you're headed to church, one of the later church services, going to grocery store or anything like that, just have your raincoat with you, your umbrella tucked with you, because it wouldn't be a bad idea. As we head towards 1 o'clock, notice how the activity really starts to ramp up across the area. Of course, we have Atlanta Streets Alive today. That is in Midtown as well. So that definitely going to get at least briefly impacted by the rain. And then scattered showers and storms will continue even into the 4 o'clock hour. So as Megan was talking about with the Atlanta Open, that last and final round goes off at 4 today. There is the chance that a rain shower or a thunderstorm will be in the area, so that could get briefly delayed. I don't think today is going to be a complete washout. You'll get dry time, but you have a high likelihood that you will at least see some rain for half an hour to an hour today. And then it looks like we'll have a secondary wave of showers and storms move through late this evening. So as you're kind of winding down for the day, if you hear a few rumbles of thunder, don't be surprised. Don't be caught off guard. It will be possible. And again, just because of how humid it is out there, that indicates we have a lot of moisture in the air. Our showers and storms that develop will take advantage of that, leading to that threat for flash flooding. So here's a look at that Atlanta Streets Alive forecast. It goes from 1 to 5 today. It's along Peachtree Street. They shut down the street. You can ride your bikes, you can walk, whatever your heart desires. The cars won't be there. And so it's a really cool and interesting event they do a few times a year. But definitely want to have the raincoat or the umbrella with you. Just maybe keep a backup plan to head into one of the vendors, the restaurants along Peachtree Street, because you will more than likely be dodging storms. Temperatures today, by the way, holding in the 80s. So it will be a fairly mild day for summer terms. Tomorrow morning, mostly dry, maybe a stray shower with patchy fog possible from the late evening rain. So we'll give it a yellow light for tomorrow morning. Temperatures in the low 70s. But then the afternoon, tomorrow's also a first alert weather day. More widespread scattered showers and thunderstorms back in the forecast with that continuation of the chance for some flash flooding tomorrow. And here's the reason why. So take a look through 11 o'clock Monday night. So just within about 48 hours, we could pick up an inch to close to 3 inches of rain. Look at Atlanta. This particular model hinting 3 inches of rain falling within 48 hours. That's about a month's worth of rain in just 48 hours. So that is going to lead to the flash flood threat. And then notice up towards Rome, 4 inches of rain, where you see that really light pink up towards Haralson County and Polk County. That could indicate upwards of 4 to 5 inches of rain. These heavy downpours will carry rainfall rates that are going to be quite impressive. So again, this could lead to some flash flooding as to pick up that much rain in just a short 48 hours, plus all the rain we've already received. The ground is saturated. That could cause some issues for us. So our first alert weather day continues tomorrow, another stormy day. And then we'll finally get a break from this pattern that's been going on now for what feels like a couple of weeks. And we'll have just isolated afternoon storms starting Wednesday, and that'll continue into Friday. So I know some of the kids go back to school this week. It'll be a little bit drier for you, but that means the temperatures are going to heat up. We'll go back in the 90s by Wednesday. I do want to quickly take you to the tropics. We've been talking about Saharan dust. That has really been limiting tropical activity lately. So it's been a very quiet hurricane season. But now that's starting to let up a little bit, and so I do anticipate the tropics to continue to become a little more active. Of course, we're in a setup, as long as there is no Saharan dust, to have a very active hurricane season. And so we're watching a wave that's developing out in the mid-Atlantic right now. That'll head towards the Lesser Antilles a little later this week. And then interests are starting to grow for the state of Florida. Right now, a lot of models are indicating that this will kind of weaken or curve out into the Atlantic. So something we'll be keeping an eye on. Just wanted to give you an update on the tropics since they've been pretty quiet and how they're starting to wake up a little bit. That particular cluster has about a 40% chance of development over the next 7 days. Here's a look at that first alert 7-day forecast. So first alert weather days today and tomorrow. Temperatures in the low to mid 80s. We will have most of our activity when it comes to thunderstorms in the afternoon, but the next few days, a few morning showers will be possible. We'll start to dry out midweek, and that means temperatures will start to go back into the 90s by Wednesday. Some models are hinting we'll be closer to 100. Now, I'm not exactly convinced that's going to happen, but just know the potential is there for these numbers to start to go up during the week, back closer to 100 degrees. If the forecast does trend drier, some models are still thinking we'll stay a little more unsettled. That'll hold our temperatures a little cooler, but right now we'll stay low to maybe mid 90s, mid to late week. And then it looks like another front will start to move in over the weekend, so that'll increase our rain chances on Saturday just slightly. But overall, looking ahead to mid to late week, when summer break is ending for a lot of students, a handful of students, just know that the forecast is trending a little bit drier but warmer. And have the First Alert Weather app handy today. It'd be a great tool to have if you are headed out and about for your Sunday with those rain and storms expected kind of throughout the day, but of course, highest coverage through the afternoon into the evening hours tonight. Not a bad idea to have that app. It'll let you know if rain is on the way and give you all the forecast updates you need. All right, everyone, thanks so much for spending some time with us on this Sunday morning for your news and your weather. Hope you make it a great day and that you stay dry, and we'll catch you here next time.